Receiving of stolen property. Introduction. Receiving stolen property is a criminal offense under Indian law. It involves knowingly acquiring, possessing, or transferring property that has been stolen. This presentation will explore the legal aspects of receiving stolen property in India, including the relevant laws and penalties. The purpose of this presentation is to provide an overview of the topic and raise awareness about the legal consequences of engaging in such activities. It is important for individuals and businesses to understand the implications of receiving stolen property to ensure compliance with the law and maintain ethical practices. Legal framework. Receiving stolen property. Under Indian law, receiving stolen property is a criminal offense that involves knowingly receiving or possessing any property that has been stolen or unlawfully obtained by someone else. Legal provision. The legal framework surrounding receiving stolen property is primarily governed by the Indian Penal Code and the Code Criminal Procedure. These laws define the offence, establish the punishment, and outline the procedure for investigation and trial. Reporting and investigation. If someone suspects that they have received stolen property or come across such property, it is the legal duty to report it to the police. Law enforcement authorities are responsible for investigating such cases and taking appropriate legal action against the offenders. Defining stolen property. Under Indian law, stolen property is defined as any property that has been unlawfully taken or obtained or theft, robbery, or any other criminal act. It includes both movable and immovable property such as money, jewelry, vehicles, land, and buildings. The possession, sale, or transfer of stolen property is considered as criminal offence and is punishable under the Indian Penal Code. It is important to note that even if a person is not directly involved in the act of stealing the property, they can still be held liable if they possess or deal with stolen property with knowledge of its unlawful origin. Section 411. Whoever honestly receives or retains any stolen property, knowing or having reason to believe the same to be stolen property, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years, or with fine, or with both. Elements of the offence. Knowledge. The accuser must have knowledge that the property in their possession is stolen. This case proven that direct evidence such as admission by accused or circumstantial evidence such as the accused possession of recently stolen property. Possession. The accuser must have actual or constructive possession of the stolen property. Actual possession means physical control over the property, while constructive possession means the ability to exercise control over the property. Control. If the accuser must execute control over the stolen property, this can include actions such as selling, transferring, or using the property. Intent. The accuser must have the intent to dishonestly receive or retain the stolen property. This means that they must have the intention to keep or use the property for their own benefit, knowing that it is stolen. Value. The stolen property must have some value. It does not matter how small or large the value is, as long as it is capable of being stolen. Defenses. Lack of knowledge. If the accuser can prove that they did not know or have reason to believe that the property was stolen, they may be able to mount a successful defense. Lack of intent. If the accuser can demonstrate that they did not intend to receive stolen property, they may be able to argue that they should not be held criminally liable. Duress. If the accused can show that they were forced or coerced into receiving stolen property, they may be able to use the defensive of duress. Entrapment. If the accuser can prove that they were induced or coerced by law enforcement to receive stolen property, they may be able to use the defensive of entrapment. Return of property. If the accused voluntarily returns the stolen property or takes steps to return it, they may be able to use this as defense. Consent. If the accuser can show that they received the property with the consent of the owner, they may be able to use this as defense. Punishments. Imprisonment of up to 14 years and or a fine value of property more than rupees 50,000. Imprisonment of up to 10 years and or a fine value of the property rupees 20,000 to rupees 50,000. Imprisonment of up to 7 years and or a fine value of property rupees 5,000 to 20,000. Imprisonment of up to 3 years and a fine value of the property less than 5,000 rupees. Landmark Judgment State of Madhya Pradesh versus Mohan Singh AIR 1965 SC 277. Court Supreme Court of India. Key findings. The accused was held guilty of receiving stolen property under Section 411 of the Indian Penal Code. The court found that the accused had reason to believe that the property was stolen based on the evidence presented. The Supreme Court upheld the conviction of the accused and emphasized the importance of establishing dishonest intention on the part of the accused in such cases. Landmark Judgment Shyam Sundar vs. State of Rajasthan AR 2008 SC 2967. Supreme Court of India. Key findings. The accused was convicted of receiving stolen property under Section 411 of the IPC section. The court relied on circumstantial evidence, including the conduct of the accused and the implausible explanation for being in possession of the stolen property. Judgment. The Supreme Court affirmed the conviction, noting the strong circumstantial evidence against the accused and the failure to provide a reasonable explanation for possessing the stolen property. Landmark Judgment Moti Ram vs. State of Rajasthan AR 1978 SC 1273. Supreme Court of India. Key findings. The accused was convicted of receiving stolen property under Section 411 of the Indian Penal Code. The court found that the circumstances surrounding the transaction, including the price paid for the property and the accused's conduct, indicated reason to believe that the property was stolen. Judgment. The Supreme Court upheld the conviction, emphasizing the need to examine the totality of the evidence to determine the guilt of the accused in such cases. Thank you. Yeah.